Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another edition of the 12 Kyle podcast. As I mentioned at the top, man, we're talking about sex. So let me go ahead and put this out here as a disclaimer before I get started. If you're easily offended, if you haven't had any in a while, you might want to turn this podcast off. But if none of that applies to you, keep rocking with me. All right. So in this podcast, as I mentioned at the top, man, we're talking about things that men won't tell you about sex, but you really need to know. And as I mentioned at the top, man, we got a special co-host. Man, what can I say about this guy, man? It goes without saying, this is one of my best friends. Me and this guy, man, we go way back. We go back like Stephen A. Smith's hairline. This guy is he's a father. He's an entrepreneur. He's got a dope album. This guy has a spoken word album in stores. Right now he's rocking some fresh Nikes, and his glasses have purple frames. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcoming into the 12 Kyle podcast studios for the first time, my man Dluvhall. D, what up?
Yo. Hey, man. On some real. How you know what's on my feet, though?
Hey, come on, man. I know you always got some fresh Nikes.
I mean, I look down just now like, here? Dude, we got cameras in my kitchen? What you got going on around here? What's going on, Twitter world? What's going on, 12 Kyle world? I like the new format, baby. I like the new format, man. It's been a long time, man. Yeah, I ain't been on since the blogosphere.
Yeah, you haven't been on since the 12 radio show, man. So I said, with the podcast, I got to bring back some of the original cast of characters, if you will. And so I had to get the homie on here. And I mean, it's a subject right up your alley. So
I mean, that's what they say. I speak it how I feel. You know what I'm saying?
No doubt. So, like I mentioned, folks, if you haven't had any sex in a while, you might want to turn this one off. But if you're really interested in a serious, entertaining yet jovial conversation about it, pull up a chair, pop your collar, and turn it up a little bit. So let's get right to it, man. Things that men won't tell you about sex. So when I heard about this, or at least was thinking about this concept, I started doing some research, and like one of the things that I came up with, I started seeing different things online or whatever like that, and it was these questions that I found online where women were talking about, or women and men were talking about, some of the things that I guess, for lack of a better term, annoy them about the opposite sex when it comes to sex or having sex. Or, how they just basically get down. So a couple of things I wrote down here, and we'll discuss them on this podcast. And, obviously for those of you who constantly listen to the podcast, of course, we will have the ladies on and they'll get their turn to talk about what it is, that they don't like, if you will, about sex. So the first thing that I have written down here, things that men won't tell you about sex, but you need to know. Men won't tell you or let you know that, their suggestion when you want to watch porn together and then hating their reaction. So that's the first topic right there. When women suggest, hey, let's watch a porno, and then your reaction to it. Most men, I think, watch porn. I don't want to say most. A lot of men watch porn on a regular basis. So that, they're probably used to watching it themselves. But when you bring a woman into the element, things can get a little dicey. D, what's your take on that, man? When a woman suggests, hey, let's watch a porno, and then your reaction, either positive or negative.
Well, I've never had a negative reaction to that request, so I'm gonna start there. I don't know how you could even have a negative request, because I guess I come from a school where you kind of know who you're dealing with when it comes to having sex. So certain questions shouldn't really be that shocking. You know what I mean? Like if you with a woman and it shocked you that she asked you that, maybe you weren't doing your homework beforehand. But let me get to the reaction and wow. That's a doozy for a first question. I tend to let people know, like, okay, we can do this, but understand this is fantasy.
Right.
You know, I ain't trying to hate on dude with the baby on. I ain't trying to hate. You know, but understand that genetically, you know, that ain't always gonna be the case. I just let it be known, like, you know, I don't have the rubber band around my balls that's gonna hold my nut like that. I'm real upfront about it, just to let people know, like, don't have these expectations, because I don't expect you to be all panting and all the crap that the women do in those movies either. If it's just for entertainment, right, let's make sure that we both understand what it's for. But if you're trying to tell me something, I suggest that you just tell me what that something is. Mm-hmm. Don't throw, because a porno, if you want to tell me that I'd rather have you give me head a certain way, showing me a porno ain't the way to do it, because those dudes are recklessly relentless when they give head. Facts. In porn. You know what I mean? Like, let's be real about it. If you a woman that loves to watch porn head from a dude, like a dude giving porn head, I don't want to offend your audience.
Man, speak on it, man. This the podcast. You know how we do.
You might be a porn star your damn self, because them dudes be reckless. They be so aggressive. They be so aggressive. Like, if you want me to be that aggressive the entire time, I can, but I'm gonna sweat, yo. This is gonna happen. It's just gonna happen. I'm gonna sweat on your pussy. So,
I'm gonna sweat on your pussy.
It's gonna happen. Don't you see how aggressive them dudes be so aggressive?
It's mad aggression. It's mad aggression.
They be so like they never ate a pussy, and I'm like, yo, you like that?
Like it's that's the what first you really time want? Ever.
Like, no, that can't be sexy. You can tell me that for a minute. You can get it like that for a minute, but you want me to go 15 minutes like that all up?
And understand that it ain't been 15 minutes for real.
Thank you. There's cutaways. They done took breaks. They done had banana slice, orange slices. Right. You got to understand it's been some breaks in them takes. But if you come into the whole thing understanding that that's what it is, it's acting, then I'm cool. But if you're trying to give me a hint, like, okay, I mean, if you want me to keep my Timbs on, I can.
Hey, Tim, and your hat on backwards.
And my hat on backwards. If you want me to Mr. Marcus this situation, I can. But understand what she did to Mr. Marcus first.
Right.
Better attention to what she did to Mr. Marcus first before you think I'm going to just come in here Mr. Marcus style and think that I'm not going to slip on this carpet. I'm going to slip a little bit if you want me to.
Keep your socks on.
I mean, me and you had a discussion.
You keep your socks on. You keep your grip, and
I got to get rid of them socks, man. I got to be. We can't do this tonight, man. I'm not doing this with the socks.
And you make a boy. Trust me, I know.
No comment.
So yeah, man, I agree, man. I think first and foremost, one thing men won't tell you is that sometimes the reaction, like the question was about, whether or not men hate, watching it with women. I don't think men hate watching it with women. I think sometimes if a woman suggests that you watch it, a guy could, there's some men who might be a little self-conscious and they might feel some kind of way, about, like you said, you're looking at, somebody that got something that they don't have, if you will. But, I think at the end of the day, you understand that, like what you just said, it's fantasy. It's fantasy. It's a form of entertainment for those who would like to be entertained that way. And that's what it is. And you have to treat it as such. I can only, when I think about myself, I can only think like, if you want to suggest that we watch it, that's cool, but we probably won't watch too much of it.
Right, because what's your ulterior motive for suggesting that?
Right.
What are you really getting at? If you trying to set the mood, but once again, what that falls back to, KD? It falls back to you kind of know who you're dealing with when it comes to that situation. You should know exactly what if it's your girl, it's your dude, whatever the case may be. You should know exactly who you're dealing with when it comes to certain scenarios. And when they present that, they're not going to present it every night.
Mm-hmm.
but when they do, you kind of know what that means. Like, oh, so you're gonna swing from the chandelier tonight. That's what's going on tonight. Right. All right. Cool.
And as you get older, like you said, every night ain't gonna be swing from the chandelier night. It's gonna be this, it's gonna be that. But yeah, so ladies, again, thing that men won't tell you that you need to know. Suggesting that you watch porn, that could be a good thing, it could be a bad thing. But you can't hate his reaction or whatever he has to say about it. Because just like what D just said, as far as the head, like if he looks at it and said, well, you're probably not getting head like that tonight, then you're probably not getting head like that. The next thing I have written down here, things that men won't tell you about sex, but you need to know. Being too noisy when others can hear. Now we know some people, not to embarrass anybody, some people like to be noisy. And then some people like to be quiet. But I think there's a, segment of the population that, really, really wants to, let, the neighbors know that it's going down. So what's your take on that, D? The noise factor.
Don't bother me. I mean, I guess some dudes or some men. Let me stop generalizing. Some men probably are bothered by that. If it's a natural reaction, you know what I'm saying? If that's how you are when it's good to you, then I want you to be open and be you. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Don't do it to boost my ego, or don't do it to try to get yourself psyched up. If that's what you really are about, when it's good to you, if that's what you're really about, then do you. I don't mind that, but it has to be genuine. Right. Because some women are very quiet. Some women don't say a word, and that can be scary. That's the one you got to worry about. You got to worry about the one who's just there, because you don't know if you're doing anything to her or for her at all. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So if you want to make a little noise, if that makes you comfortable, I don't mind. I mean, my neighbors, I don't know them, so I don't know what they're gonna do. ain't nobody gonna run up over here and knock on my door because they don't know. But I mean, a little noise if it's genuine. If it's genuine, then it's cool. But once again, this kind of goes back to question number one with the porn joint. Those chicks on them porn, they make all the noise that make you think you killing them. Right. When y'all can have like 15-pound babies out of that thing, so we know we ain't killing y'all. Precisely. We ain't. Some of us think we are, but we get to a certain age, we know we ain't killing that thing. Mm-hmm. But some women, when they're into it, they tend to make a little bit more noise. If that's what you do, I'm all for that. You can make all the noise you want. I mean, don't kick my TV over, scratch my back. We can break the bed a little bit, but don't kick my TV over. I paid too much for that. Right. Yeah, I think I agree 100%, man. I think the silent moans, the soft moans and groans, that's cool. That's in my opinion. I think that's how it should be. It's you obviously you're in close proximity, so that's the way it should be. But yeah, and it goes back to, like you said, the porn, because the women on there are getting paid to do that. Right. They get paid to make all that noise. In some cases. Yeah, in some cases they're getting paid to make all of that noise. Right. But I get where a woman being very noisy might want them to, make the guy feel like he's just, like he's a stud and he's just tearing it up. But if it's not authentic, then what are we doing? That, and I guess maybe it changes your mindset from when you're 17, 18 as opposed to 31, 35. You know what I mean? Because at that point in time, at 17, yeah, you want to knock it down, and if your boys are in another room, at least let them hear that that you're in there putting in work. It's an ego thing.
Yeah. Of course, it's very much so an ego thing. And then conversely, which leads into my next question, as far as the ego, here's another one. Things that men won't tell you about sex, but you need to know. Women who lie on their backs and they take it. And what I mean by that is it's adopting the what they call the quote unquote dead starfish position and not moving a muscle. Just lying back, not moving. And, it kind of insinuates that you're just allowing him to have sex with you and that he's not a turn on for you, more of a turn off. So, yeah, D, what do you think about these Kim Kardashians out here that just, just lay there and just don't do nothing?
It's funny you mentioned her name because that's the first person I thought of when you said that. That's amazing. That's the first person. I was like, why y'all be sweating this shit, but y'all didn't see the tape.
Yeah, that's you know what, man. I say that all the time. I was like, man, I know why people like Kim Kardashian as far as her looks or whatever like that. I was like, but man, y'all must not have seen what I saw.
Yeah, that dead log would turn you. It's a turn off, man. Number one, in today's society, with the, I'm gonna go ahead and just address it with the whole. I shouldn't say it that way. Let me try to be careful here.
Go ahead.
I want to make sure I word this properly. There's a lot of sexual assault cases out there.
True facts.
There's a lot of sexual assault cases out there. Whether they're all true or not, I can't determine that. I wasn't there. I don't know these people. But there are a lot of sexual assault cases out there. In some of those cases, it was probably a situation where the woman felt overpowered. Mm-hmm. I'm sorry. I mean, all cases, women are overpowered. It's a power trip for men doing that. But when the women that have been penetrated, who the guy can try to claim he didn't rape, it was consensual. Mm-hmm. If she was just kind of laying there like that, that can lead, or that can be a part of the sexual assault. Mm-hmm. Her just laying there. So in the case of us who are actually having consensual sex with our women or our lady friends, whatever the case may be, like now if you're just laying there, it's like, yo, do you really want this? Because I don't know. I don't need to be called HR in a couple of weeks, about my situation. Because you were there, but you did just lay there. I need to make sure you're good. I understand. I do understand that there's a culture that says to please your man, you should have sex with him, blah, 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 blah. Okay. But if it's not for the both of you, I don't think you should be doing that. That's probably something a man will probably never tell you ladies, but it's some real shit. If you're not into it, if you're not involved emotionally, if you're not turned on by the fact that you want to have sex at that time, you probably shouldn't, even if it's just to make your man happy, because those emotions, we may not say it, but we can feel it. Mm-hmm. We know it, and some of us are still get on top of you and get our nut off, but some of us will stop. Some of us be like, you all right? And once we talk, the moment we say to you, are you okay? Now we done lost it too.
Right. Yeah, the mood.
You know what I mean? Believe me, we can lose that mood too. And once we can tell you're not there and we actually stop and say to you, are you okay? That means we've already lost it. Mm-hmm. Even if you say, yeah, I'm good. If we had to stop and ask you that, we've already lost it. You know what I mean? So the dead fish thing, the dead log, as I call it, I mean, some women, Kyle, some women are just like that. Unfortunately, they've been told that if they do certain things, they're going to hell or their damnation, or it's yeah, man. I've had a lot of conversations with people who give me these reasons why they can't be themselves, and I'm like, but if you're thinking it, that's not the same. I don't know how that works. I don't know how it works. I'm not the biggest religious person. I won't try to front like I am. But they'll be like, yeah, I can't let loose and I can't do this. I said, but you still have sex.
Right.
Oh. That's the part I'm trying to wrap my head around. You're still having sex, but you're not having the sex you want to have because you're going to come across as a hoe. That is so confusing to me. The times when women were judged, even though I can't front, I know women are still judged for being promiscuous. I know they are,
of course,
but it's not as much as it was, say, back in the 90s. You know what I mean? You can't. It's just not the same. And if you're worried about someone judging you, you're probably never going to be happy anyway. So you're going to always be the dead fish. Mm-hmm. You're going to please your man. You're thinking you're pleasing your man. That's what you believe. But then down the road when you find out that he done went to a strip club and done banged some whole raw doggy style, and then you want to know what happened. Like, I'm not trying to excuse it.
Right.
But if you're not, if you think that all we want to do is sticking in, then you're probably still dealing with a teenage mentality.
Right.
Hate to say that. I'm not trying to disrespect anybody, but if you think all we want
a hit dog, a holler.
If that's what you think is cool, that we just want to stick it in, then you're probably still dealing with either a teenage mentality or you're dealing with a dude who has a teenage mentality.
No question.
It's more to it. It's more to it than that. And I don't want to feel like I'm violating you or I'm making you do this just to make me happy. That's the worst. I don't know if there's a worse feeling than someone just laying there just to make me happy. Like, you ain't involved in this, so I don't do shit for you.
Right.
All right. I can't.
And and I don't even think that's an ego thing, because like some of the things that I read about that, one woman was talking about maybe it's an ego thing, and I was like, well, I don't think it's an ego thing. It's just you want to feel like the other person is participating in this activity with you. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't go. That's not something that you do alone. So yeah, if you're just laying there, yeah, I got a problem. I don't want you to just lay there. I want you to, look me in my eye, talk to me, do something. I mean, no, man, it's not. It can't be that. You have to at least, make, and that's on both parties. You got to make the person feel like, that they're there, like we're in this together. We're both trying to reach a certain point. Hopefully one doesn't reach it before the other.
Well, hopefully it does. I want you to reach yours first.
Oh yeah. Like,
if I reach mine, it's gonna be a nap.
It always goes back to the Biggie line. She came twice. I came last. Row the grass. You know what I'm saying? So that's what you want for the fellas. But yeah, the dead starfish. Not a fan of it. Not a fan of it. So yeah, ladies, that's another thing that men won't tell you about sex, but you need to know. If you're practicing that method, stop it. It's not cool. And again, it's not for the guy's ego. It's just the semantics and the action of it. Just, it's not cool, man. It's not cool at all.
And you need to be who you are as well.
No question.
You know what I'm saying? Because sometimes some women hold back because they don't want to be judged. No, you need to let go. Be who you are, because we want that too.
Oh, no question.
We want to feel like we gave you a reason to want to do that with us.
No question.
Not just to make us happy.
You know my motto. I said it many times when I had the 12 radio show. We're all freaks. Some just bigger than others. You get inside that bedroom or wherever you decide to do it, let it come out. Because
let it come out.
That's what it's supposed to be. Don't worry about what somebody's going to think or anything like that, because you're both participating. So what one does and what the other one doesn't do, I mean, hell, you're both in it together, if you will. And I know, society's perception, like you said, of women being promiscuous and all that whole nine, but at the end of the day, I would say 99.9% of the people that will hear this podcast are grown. So when you're grown, you do what grown people do. And that's what grown people do.
And be happy about it.
Oh yeah, enjoy it. Enjoy it. I mean, now if it lasts 2 minutes, I don't know how much you can enjoy it, but that's another story for another day.
Sometimes shit happens. Sorry.
I cannot co-sign on that. Another one. Things men won't tell you about sex, but you need to know. Going to the bathroom just before sex and not washing afterwards. All right, so this is interesting here. I tried to picture it because this never happened to me. I tried to picture this, right? So, okay, so you with this woman, okay, it's about to go down. She says, okay, well, hey, and it's typical for most. I don't want to say most people. It's typical for a lot of people to go pee before they have sex. I mean, because you don't want to have to pee, and then you trying to pee and trying to bust a nut. Tough. They both can't happen at the same time. So I think that's safe to. I don't know. I can't speak for women, but I know
say some women call it squirting, so you gotta be careful.
Yeah, be careful with that. Yeah, so I don't know how it is for women, but for men, it's not humanly possible for you to pee and nut at the same time, or one of the other has to happen. Nonetheless, so she goes to the bathroom. She pees. She says she pees. She gets up. Okay, she wipes herself. Boom, boom, boom. She heads to bed, and subsequently you follow her to the bedroom. But now, she did not wash herself after taking a piss.
Okay.
But she wants you to eat her.
Okay.
So I know that has to be something that men won't tell you about sex, but you need to know, ladies, that's not cool. If you go take a piss, wash yourself. What's your take on that, man?
Oh, that was a question?
Yeah, that's the question.
Oh, shit. That was a question.
Yeah, that's the question.
Well, I've never experienced it, so...
Well, that's good.
Wow. I've experienced a lot of things, but that... Well, wait. Let me really think this one through.
Yeah, I've never...
Because, see, I know women who have a yoni wash they use, right before they go to bed, and they...
Wait, a yoni wash?
Yeah.
What the fuck is that?
You need to step your game up. Let's start there. You need to step your game up. I'll
look it up.
Look it up, please. Yeah, you fucking in the spot here. It's a wash.
Yoni
that
wash. Okay.
Yeah. It don't have all the chemicals that regular soap has, and it's a cleansing thing, and it has a nice scent to it, and it's good for the yoni.
Well, I don't have a yoni, so I wouldn't.
No, you don't. It's a pussy.
Right.
Of course you don't have one. But yeah, they use that. So as far as like a lady who doesn't like, all right, let me try to put myself in that scenario. If she came to bed, oh man,
I've actually heard men talk about this before. It's never happened to me, but I can think, when I saw this, I can think of at least 4 of my partners that this happened to.
Damn, 4?
4.
I man, I'm really gonna sound ignorant here. I'm not certain if I would give a damn. That sound right?
You the nasty man, so no, you wouldn't.
I know, yeah, right. I mean, see, for me, everything is normal. I don't know if I would give a damn. I mean, I guess I would, but after the moment starts happening, I don't know. See, all right. I think what it is, I rarely had anyone tell me right before that they wanted me to give them head. Mm-hmm. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
I may have had a discussion like on the phone or through text, whatever, like, yeah, we're going to get together, we're going to do that, I'm going to eat your pussy on the balcony. They might have done something like that, but right before it I don't recall anybody right before it happened ever saying...
Eating pussy on the balcony? Oh, shit.
I told you need to grow up. I thought I'm that clear.
Oh, shit. Wow. This guy.
I mean...
This guy...
Now, wait a minute. How are you going to say?
I mean, I couldn't let that line get past me. We're going to get your story.
How are you going to say in the bedroom or wherever you do it? Like, that's the same scenario. Like, wherever you do it, wherever you go.
This is true.
So once again, I don't think I've had anybody right before ask me to give them head. Like that. That would kind of turn me on if you actually said that. Like, because I don't know how a woman would sound saying that. Like, like how. This should have been the 12 Kyle show where we could have had someone call in to say, yes. How would you ask a man to give you head?
That's what I miss about the radio show.
Yes, that's what I'm trying to wrap my head around. Somebody laying in bed, because I've had someone like just suggest it, like, they just give me the look. I know the look. They just give me the look, and I'll just go on and do my thing. But as far as like saying the words, wow. I've had people joke me on text what that mouth do, because they think it's funny.
What that mouth do.
Yeah, but you ain't never been in my bed and said what that mouth do, because I might turn into fucking Mr. Marcus on that.
From the angles.
So I honestly, Kate, I don't think that would bother me. I mean, I guess it should bother me, but I don't think it would, because if it's
I guess the action of it would bother me because you just took a pee. Like, and it's not like, and I know the ladies that are listening, I know what you're saying. Oh, it's so clean down there, it cleans itself and the whole night.
Right.
I get it. Don't get me wrong. I get it. Perfect. And you get no qualms from me on that. That said, you just took a piss. Like, it's like,
yeah, but okay. Let me ask this. So maybe this is what I'm confused on.
Mm-hmm.
You're saying she took a piss,
and then she came, and then she wanted head from you,
like right there,
right there.
See, okay, now I'm still thinking about it. See, what I'm thinking about is she got out of bed or whatever. She took a piss, came back in bed, and then we fooled around a little bit, and then I got in the mood to give her some head, and I ain't thinking about it no more. But you're saying she went to the bathroom, did it, and came right back and was like, all right, okay. See, that's different. That's.
I mean, well, actually, it's the same scenario, but
no, but if it's right then, it's still on my mind.
Okay.
But see, if you grab my balls a little bit and tongue kiss me and did a little couple things between there, I might not think about it as much. But if you came right and did it, like, I'm gonna still be thinking like, yeah, you did just come out there. But I still got to be honest. I probably don't know if I would. I don't know. I don't really. That's,
you know what, man. I guess for me, it would be the equivalent of like I went and shot ball. And then I came in, and I'm like, "Yo, I want head."
That is not the equivalent. That is not the equivalent.
From shooting balls.
That is not the equivalent. You might have smegma all around your sack. Everybody look up smegma when you get a chance. Smegma. Yeah, you might have smegma when you come off the court.
I'm pretty sure there'd be a lot of smegma.
Yeah, but the coming out the back. I mean, I also, you know what I think also is a difference maker. It might also depend on how long you've been with that person.
What?
How much trust you have in that person. Because if it's somebody who you just, met, damn right you're gonna think about it. You see what I'm saying? I might not be in that realm right now. If you've been with somebody for a minute and it happens, you might not think about it as much. But at the same token, if you've been with somebody that long and they know what you like, they may go ahead and use the yoni juice and clean it out. So I can't really relate. All I'm thinking about is if it was to happen and I'm in the bed, I'm ready to get down. I don't know. I think if she's bold enough to actually say the words to me, I want you to give me some head, I might come back and say, but you didn't wash that shit out. Because now you open up the door for me to say that. That, you know what? Now that I think the whole thing through, if you had the gall to say to me, I want you to give me some head, then knowing me, I'll be like, hey, you gonna go use that yoni juice or what? Like, I'm down.
Are you gonna wash that box before I show you what this mouth is?
So now that I think it through, yeah, I would probably, I can't say I'm gonna have a problem, but I would mention like, hey, I'll do it. But you're going to go, you're going to go handle that first? Or?
Take care of your BI.
Hey.
The next one, man, and you mentioned, you gave reference to it earlier, and I laughed when I saw this. Things that men won't tell you about sex, but you need to know: scratching my back. I've never been a fan of the nails in the back, scratching up the back. And I have how can I put this? I have a Facebook friend. I'm not going to call his name because he just might listen to this podcast, who I went to school with. And I remember because we had just to give you guys a picture, we had these community showers. So, I wasn't in the shower with him, but I happened to be walking out of the shower and he was walking toward the shower and he turned around or something like that. And I just, he had a towel on, I had a towel on, we men went in the bathroom, whatever. And I noticed that his back was, his back literally looked like Wolverine just fucked him up. And I'm like, yo, what happened to your back, yo? And he was like, oh man, my girl, she get off on that, man. She just like scratching me up. And but he was so scratched up to the point where it was cuts in his back. I don't mean it was literally cuts, like somebody had taken a knife and was slicing his back. and they were all over his back. And it wasn't just like one spot. I mean, like it was lit, but his girl, she got off on that. And he was like, he pulled me to the side. He didn't pull me to the side in the shower, but later on he told me about how, she got off on that. And I thought that to be the weirdest, most freakiest, most crazy, because who wants to be scratched, right? So, yeah, man, I'm not a fan of that. So ladies, one thing men won't tell you about sex, that, scratching up the back like that, like your Wolverine, it's not a good look. What's your take on it, man?
I mean, you can't see now, Katie, you can't, we, in one sentence, we can't say be who you are. And then in the next sentence, tell them don't scratch us up. Some women into that. We're not being fair right now. We giving them roadmaps that lead to nowhere.
Okay.
Some women do that. Some women, when they get into it, they do that. We can't stop them from being who they are if that makes them comfortable. Now, we might want to say the next time, like, yo, by the way, I might need a minute. You fucked me up for real. We might need to let them know.
I might need to go to the emergency room.
I need to let them know. But for some women, that's how they are. When if it's good to them, that's how some women react.
Wow.
So I'm not, I can't tell you to I can't say scream. I can't say don't be a dead fish. Oh, but by the way, don't scratch my back too. No, do all that. Do all of that.
Man, that, you know what? I don't know, man. I think seeing that dude and seeing how scratched up he was, and like, to be honest, just to keep it a buck, man, like he wasn't even happy about it. Like he was glad to be pleasing his girl, because this was his girl. This wasn't just somebody just fucking, right? So this was his girl, and at the time, and I mean, he subsequently broke up with her, but over something else. But but at the time, yeah, man. I mean, like, I've never seen it. I'll put it like this. You remember the Nas album, the Untitled album? So D's laughing because on the Nas, for those of you listening right now, you're driving in your car, wherever you listen to this podcast, go to Google Images and put in Nas Untitled album cover. Nas is, all you see is Nas's back, and the album was about, it was pro black album, whatever like that. And so it looks like Nas had been beaten like a slave would have been beaten. And so you see these webs and these scars and stuff on Nas's back. That's how his back looked. Personally, if you got to take a shower and you in the shower like, ooh, ouch, ouch, ouch. Nah, son. Nah, you can't scratch me. But I mean, I get where you're coming from, D, but you can't make my back look like the Nas album cover. I'm sorry.
See, man, some of these questions are making me question, what the fuck have I been doing?
Hey, it definitely made me question, because I'm like, hey, this has never happened to me.
Yeah, I mean, I ain't never, I'm sorry, y'all, whoever, done dealt with me and they had to scratch my back. I'm sorry.
Oh my gosh. That is funny. That is funny. Another question. Things that men won't tell you about sex, but you need to know. I wrote down here, only liking the missionary position. This is a tricky one for some women, because some women, that's what they do. That's what they know. And, they don't never want to necessarily venture out into different positions. So what do you stand on that, D? What do women need to know about only wanting to stay missionary?
Actually, that's not a problem.
Okay.
If you're upfront about that, that's not a problem, because for some women, they don't get clitoral stimulation from other positions. Mm-hmm. And for some women, they need that stimulation in order to maximize their, when they come. Mm-hmm. And for some women, they can't, other positions don't do anything for them. They just die. And listen, you know me for a long time.
Right.
I ask questions.
Of course.
Whether I'm dealing with you or not, I'm gonna ask questions because I like to know shit. And through my question, I've just found that some women, through certain positions, they get absolutely no clit stim, and without that, they're not really getting anything out of the experience. You're punching a hole, but they get absolutely nothing from the experience whatsoever without that clit stim. So, and for some women, missionary is the only position they found that they can get. Well, it's twofold. Either they get clit stim from that, or from some of the women who I've talked to who don't like doggy style. They don't like you not being able to see their face. That degrades them. That feels degrading for them, for you to not see their face. Like, now, instead of us having sex, you're literally fucking me. And for some women,
that's
I
don't want to be fucked.
Right. Even though they want to be fucking, but they don't want to be fucked.
Right.
Am I making sense?
Making all the sense in the world.
You know what I'm saying? And I've talked to some women who they've told me in a heartbeat, yeah, doggy style might be okay for you, but you're just fucking me. Like, you're literally just fucking me. And I'm like, I don't get it. Like, you think about it. I want to be fucking, but you're just fucking me. And I'm like, and like when they said it the second time, it made sense. Like, oh, okay. So you don't like it feels disrespectful. You just degraded me. Like, we ain't together, but damn, why I can't see your face? I'm like, but some people don't want to see your face. Well, go buy a hoe. Okay, you're right. You're right. You're right. Listen, after I talked to a few people, it made sense.
Right.
But the first time I heard that, I thought, you just being up in the ass bitch. That's what I thought.
Right.
If you want to be with the dude, what the fuck? But after I talked to a few women, it came down to a respect thing and degrading. And yeah, we ain't in love, but you ain't just going to be fucking me.
Right.
And I was like, okay. All right. Now it makes sense.
And you know what? I had this, we had, I want to say, it was at one point in time when I had the 12, and for those of you listening, I had a radio show that I did online for 5 years called the 12 Radio Show, and that I morphed into this podcast here, the 12 Kyle Podcast. But I remember us doing a show. I think it was a show that me and Shelly Shell did, and a young lady called in, a young lady who I didn't even know. She called in and we got to talking to something, and she mentioned it. And you know, to be honest, D, I had never thought about it like that, but she was like, she would rather it be missionary because she wants a lot of eye contact. And right. She didn't want doggy style for just those same reasons. You know, me, I was joking. I was like, well, you can look back at it. And she was like, nah, that ain't my plan.
Right. So, right.
And I was like, well, you can get on top. She was like, well, no, it's a little bit more intimate, you know, if it's missionary. I was like, okay, well, you know, she wanted to, you know, to make sure that she wasn't sounding like she was primitive or whatever, or she wasn't above trying other things, but that's just what was her thing. And it wasn't, she was like, she could come in any position, but she was just like, that was her thing. And that's why she was in favor of, you know, missionary, and that was it. And it up until that point, man, to be honest, I had never even thought about it before. Never thought about it until that particular show.
Me neither.
But yeah, so that's another thing, ladies, that, you know, men won't tell you. You know, we like to try different positions. You know, but if you only like missionary, if you, like D said, if it's something that you talk about up front, it's a whole lot easier to maneuver with and go with the flow with, as opposed to not saying anything at all, and then you try to move, and they're like, no, we're not moving. We're not
right.
Moving.
Or they clinch.
Oh yeah,
they clinch your ass like, come here. So we not. You try to roll them over, and they do that little they they do the dead fish. You try to roll them over. It's like, okay, my bad. I didn't know. All
right, okay. So another one I got. Things that men won't tell you about sex, but you need to know. Telling a man when to orgasm. Ladies, you probably won't win with this one. Begging him to hold off might just make him a little bit more paranoid. It's kind of hard to describe, but I remember, referring back to the 12 Radio Show, I remember we did a show with me, Shelly Shell, and Dig Game. And the homie Dig Game said, You know, like when he's in there and he's trying not to nut, he said he's thinking about his fantasy football roster. He said he was thinking about an episode of Different Strokes. He was thinking about a joke that Fred Sanford told one time. He said he was thinking about everything he could. So yeah, ladies, it's, you know, you're better off probably, you know, letting him bust and then, you know, settling for round 2, you know, or maybe he might show you what that mouth do, you know, to get you to yours. But I just think, man, telling him when to do it, you know, that's tough, man. It's, again, like D said, you're not dealing with Mr. Marcus. You can't. It's hard to just tell a guy, don't do it, you know, or when you got to do it. Yeah, of course. Idealistically, I think for men, yeah, we want the woman to come first, but it ain't always the case. So, what about you, D? Your thoughts on women telling men when to bust that nut?
Well, first of all, you can't tell us when. Sorry, it's not. I need ladies to understand when y'all listen to this podcast. Please understand we are telling y'all 100% truth on this show tonight.
Mm-hmm.
We do not enter into this situation trying to bust first.
No,
that's not our goal. We don't come in thinking, I'm gonna come as fast as I can. Fuck that bitch. That ain't what we're trying to do. That is not our goal.
Never.
It's just y'all don't know how that thing feels sometimes, man. Y'all don't get it. It's a compliment to you when we can't hold it. Y'all taking this thing wrong. You know, you should feel like you got that. You really do got that golden ticket if we can't hold it. Because everybody, listen, all right, let's just go ahead and be real on the show.
Keep it a buck.
Ladies, I'm sorry to y'all this. All y'all don't have the golden ticket. I got to get real for a minute here.
Hey, and conversely, all the dudes don't have gold between their legs either.
That's right. I ain't going to front. We don't.
It's a bunch of Bennett men out there.
Because I can't stand when I talk to a woman who try to tell me, I don't know how y'all think y'all know this, but I can't stand a woman tell me, well, all pussy feel the same. No, it don't. No, it don't. Y'all have no idea.
Well, I would, you know what, D, I wouldn't know. I've only had sex with one woman one time. And he goes silent.
My mic broke. So listen, y'all, it don't all feel the same. I'm sorry to tell y'all this. It doesn't. Some women got real unicorns. All y'all can get wet. Blah, blah, blah. All y'all can get wet. But some women, I don't know what it is. Some of y'all is just different. It's just, and there's no escaping it. And there's no holding back. It's going to happen. I'm sorry. Telling us when to, telling us to hold it. You can try to tell us to hold it, but if you say hold it and you keep stroking, that's an oxymoron. That's just not over. It's over. You have to stop too. You have to stop. You got to stop grinding your pelvis. Stop grinding your pelvic floor, whatever that shit called. Stop.
You know what, D? That might be when you might need to be dead.
There you go. You want to stop us? Dead fishing. Yeah, you got to dead fishing and then say stop. And then it's like, so you mean like stop all the way or just hold on for a minute? We don't mean to. It just happens. I mean, now, all right. Conversely, if you have already climaxed yourself and then you say to me, you want me to come? Now that's a whole other story right there.
Right. That's different.
But when you telling me don't come yet, y'all, that shit don't work. We don't enter into it trying to come first. Our egos want you to come first.
Right.
We want to be the dude that made you come first because we know you dealt with a couple of dudes who done came within a few seconds or minutes of being inside you.
And we want to do that. We know that, you know, once we come, it might be over.
You're gonna talk about us. And in today's society with social media now, you're going to talk shit about it. Yes, we know that. We know that. So we don't enter into it thinking we're going to bust in 12 seconds. That ain't the whole, no, we want to hold out. And it's cute that you think if you say it, that's going to help us. But you can't say it while you grinding.
Right.
And even if it's just a tip, do y'all know how sensitive our dickheads are?
They don't know.
Take your finger right now. While you listen to this, take your finger
shit.
and lick it real good.
Oh, shit.
Reach down in your pants and just gently rub the tip of your clit. That's how our heads feel inside of y'all clits every time.
Wow.
So stop telling us to stop. Like we don't want to, but y'all feel so good. It's magical. It's magical inside of them.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
It's the original Magic Kingdom. It's the original Magic Kingdom. So yeah, ladies. Like I said, man, it's a lose-lose. You really can't tell a guy when. You can suggest it, but if he's not thinking about his fantasy football roster, if he's not thinking about what he's going to wear to work tomorrow, if he's not thinking about how much LeBron scored the night before, it's probably gonna happen. Like I said, you get ready for round 2
and take it as a compliment.
Yeah. Well, what? Can they really take it as a compliment if it happened in like 2 minutes?
Yes. Yes.
Or like my man said, he said he's all about the 60-30. 60 pumps in 30 seconds.
Everybody know that. Listen, if you got a woman scratching your back like hell, that's an ego booster, right? That means you probably gonna dick it down, right?
Right.
Well, conversely, if we come within 12 pumps, you got some good you got some good stuff. Take it as a compliment.
I don't think some of them do.
No, actually, no one does. I'm just trying to help.
Right.
I'm trying to
gas them up.
I'm trying to help them dudes out. Everybody, listen, man.
That is funny.
Listen, we have moments.
Right.
I've had a moment in my lifetime. Shit, I've had a moment, and I look at it like
I can honestly say I haven't.
Damn.
I honestly say I haven't.
Maybe you have been with one person your whole life. Maybe you wasn't.
Moving on. Okay, ladies. Things that men won't tell you about sex, but you need to know. Trying something new without asking first. We don't like that. Now that could entail a lot of stuff. I think, like Dee referenced earlier, you have to, one, particularly if you're engaging in sex, I would assume that there's been conversations prior to the sex, right? So you should be able to tell someone what it is that you like, what it is you don't like. The do's and don'ts, if you will. I'm not a fan of trying something new without asking first. And I think I talked about this on the 12 radio show one time. I'll share this. Handcuffs. Handcuffs, man. I've never been in handcuffs before. Prior to being tied up in a room. Never been in handcuffs before. Never been locked up by the law. So it felt very weird to have my hands cuffed to the bedpost. It was an incredible feeling, but
that's still that one person we're talking about. I'm just curious. I'm asking for a friend.
Yeah.
Continue on.
But yeah, man, it's I think, especially when you have great conversation, I think you should be able to, tell, hey, I saw this, or I thought about this, I want to try this, that type of thing. I think guys, we're a little wired a certain way that we may or may not be as receptive to doing new things without asking. You just, and I'll leave my commentary on this. Ladies, you're on your back, you're feeling his back or whatever like that. You grab his butt, you don't want to let your fingers start wandering past his butt. That might be something that you're into. He ain't feeling it. So yeah, talk about stuff before you ask. Ask him if he gets turned on by that. Some dudes like that stuff. Nah, I don't want you to stick about your finger in my ass, but that's just me. Some people into that, So yeah, D man, what about you? The conversations about trying something new without asking first.
Hold on. Let me hit my vape pen for a second. I'm vaping now.
Oh shit.
Mm-hmm. All right. Wow. Ladies, don't listen to Kyle. He been with one lady. He don't know no better. Don't listen to that. Stick your finger in that ass. Y'all want to stick your finger in that ass. Do not listen to Kyle. He giving y'all one.
The asshole says exit only.
It does. I'm just no. All right. On some real. Once again, I think it comes down to how well you know the person that you're with. They should know certain things about you before you enter certain realms. You know what I'm saying? Like they should already know, like, okay, he don't like that gay stuff, or they can be like, well, I could probably play around the rim a little bit. He probably like that. Like they should know. That's like if we had heterosexual men,
mm-hmm.
if we had one, I gotta specify. If we had one golden rule, that one golden rule is probably don't play around my asshole. Mm-hmm. That's the one that we all probably hold tight in public.
Oh, no question.
In public.
In public.
Now, by saying that, what I really mean is, ladies, some of us probably won't really, punch you in your face if you do it at the right time. Don't do it while I'm making pasta. don't do it when I'm cooking some biscuits. Don't do it when I'm doing that. But if you give me some head and you touch my tank, I might not squeeze your head too hard with my thigh. I don't know. The mood sometimes can make things a little different. But just generally speaking, from all the normally from most of the heterosexual men I've spoken with, they don't like things around their ass. Like we don't touch my asshole, don't touch my asshole. Like you can grab my ass, but don't put it in my asshole. And I'm one of those people too. Don't put it in my ass, or don't play that game. But if you touch it, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know how you do it, or when. I don't know. I can't sit here and say I'm gonna stop you, but don't. If you try to go further than the rim, we're gonna have some issues.
Right.
But as far as like the what was the original question? Like not asking no questions, asking questions.
The original question was just trying new things, and I happened to just go off on a tangent about the asshole, but trying something new without asking first.
See, I think that once again goes to how well you know the person. Like if there's a level of trust that you have with that person, and I think you can introduce new things at the time. Mm-hmm. I think you can. I think it's actually exciting because how is this relationship that you're just having sex, or is this a bona fide relationship you're trying to develop into the real deal? Mm-hmm. Because if you're just having sex, there is a wall you should have up that says I can't go beyond this point, because once I go beyond this point, it starts to become emotional for me.
Right.
Which
means fucking after the third time.
Right. You know what I'm saying? I can't fuck you in the ass unless we go on a Red Lobster later on. I can't do it. There's a wall. But if you're together and you actually plan on building together, relationship building, I don't think you should have like those limits, because you should already know if you're going into a relationship, you should already know what that person is willing to do or what they like to do. Mm-hmm. And if they don't like what you like, then you should not enter into a relationship with that person. Now, that's one thing I have a problem with some of the women I know. They will date a dude, and the guy will let them know they are not about what they want in life. They don't know up front they are not about what they want in life. But he's so sexy. And they'll fuck with him.
Of course.
And they get with him a couple of times, and then they get mad because he don't want to go to church with him. And I'm like, but he already told you he don't go to church. He told you he don't go to
He
church.
told you that from door.
He told you from day one he don't go to church. But you thought because you sucked a dick in the car that he would go to church with you? No. So yeah, there's certain things that you can do with certain people if you plan on going a certain direction with them. But at the same time, you should know that before you engage in sex with that person. If you're just horny, if you just want to do something with somebody and you find somebody attractive, then by all means just have sex with them. But don't do everything with them. Like, goddamn, you do everything and then get mad when they don't text you back in 2 days. What was you expecting? You know what? And I ain't saying it's just guys. Sometimes girls just want to get them a little something, and dudes will fall. I met some dudes who be like, man, fuck that bitch. Like, no, dog, but she let you know she wasn't trying to get no relationship. Right. She let you know,
and you fell in love.
And you fell in love because it was good, and it was probably good because you ain't had none in a while. But she told
because you were square and you never had none.
You was a square. That happens. That happens more times than not. Actually.
Oh.
But yeah, you gotta know what's your end game if you plan on introducing certain things in the bedroom. Like if I was to meet somebody tonight or tomorrow, whatever the case may be, and tonight is Thursday, so I can probably fuck by Sunday. If I was to meet somebody tonight,
oh shit,
and we got together, we had a couple of drinks, whatever, got wild. I'm gonna hold back a lot of shit on Sunday. I can't give you the whole thing on Sunday.
No,
I can't do it. There's no way, because number one, I want you to leave Sunday. Don't go to sleep.
Good point.
No, don't go to sleep. No. No. I need you to get up. Let's go have some coffee or something. I need you to wake up or something. Let's not do that. And I don't need you telling your girlfriend, girl, he ate my shit from the bag and nothing. No, he didn't. Not the first night.
Yeah, I think it's pretty much a consensus that, and we've talked about it before, like how, your first couple of times you holding back. You're not gonna give everything, and you'd be crazy to display your whole arsenal of tricks the first time out. First time, it's just kind of getting a good feel for each other. Second time, you're gonna put your best foot forward because you want to represent pretty good. By the third time, man, you're trying to be an all-star.
Right. It's stages. And then once you get to that stage, then whether or not you're trying to go to relationship status or you're trying to just be cool with it or whatever. And that all comes back around to the whole introducing new things during sex. Because now you should have had conversations about what you like and what you don't like, what you expect, what you don't expect. And if you tell a girl up front, I don't play with the fingers around my booty hole shit, then she should never introduce that.
There you go.
But ladies, if he never said it,
do it.
Yeah, if he never said that to y'all.
If he never said it, do it.
If y'all had conversations about this and y'all been together for a minute and he's never said, don't you ever take your thumb and put it in my asshole, then ladies, when y'all down there, just play around and see what happens. Just see what's up.
I'm not co-signing that.
I mean, you're one girl. So
right.
You gotta stick on your one girl lane.
Exactly. All right, last one before we get out of here, man. Things that men won't tell you about sex, but you need to know. Ladies, agreeing to have sex, then acting like you're doing him a huge favor.
Oh. My mic on. My bad.
Your mic is loud and clear.
So I turn it off.
All right. So yeah, man. So here's my thing. I'll go before D. This is something that's supposed to be mutually pleasurable, if you will. I think the last thing I would want somebody to do is to do something that they don't want to do and then act like they're doing favor by doing it. You don't owe me sex. You know what I mean? Like, if that's something that I want, then I want us to be vibing. I want us to be in the same place. I don't want to be physically here and you're mentally someplace else. And then, like I said, the acting of like you doing me a huge favor, you're really not doing me a favor. I mean, because just like you could go somewhere else and get it, I could go somewhere else and get it too. So I'm not a fan of that. And I've seen that happen a lot. And it's not cool, ladies. It's never cool. Particularly if you're not in a committed relationship, because if you're going to act like that, then he's probably going to go fuck somebody else.
And when he deals with you, he probably only want to do a doggy style.
Right. So what's your take on that, D? Your advice to the ladies that agree to have sex and then not really into it, and then they act like they're doing him a huge favor by giving him some.
I mean, all right, hold on. Let me get my thoughts together. Listen, if the sex isn't a benefit to both of you, then you're not really doing us a favor. I hate to tell y'all this. I know some of y'all think that we're desperate for women and we gotta have it. No, fuck it. You're not the only woman he's trying to fuck. You might be number 1 on the list.
Or number 3.
Number 3. But if y'all ain't together and he keeps telling you that you're the only one he's trying to fuck, no, that's not true. And you're not doing him a favor by giving him some. Please, if you're gonna have sex with a man, then have sex with that man. But don't do it and then be like, well, I didn't have to give you none. Well, then you shouldn't have. Like he's not gonna. All right. We appreciate sex when you place value on that sex. Once you devalue it by claiming that you only did it to do us a favor, then it didn't mean shit to us either.
Facts.
You wonder how men can be so cold and callous. Well, the moment you make it seem like it wasn't shit to you, we don't know how to take that and be tender with that. We know how to be, well, fuck that bitch. That's what we know. we can be wrong. We can be dead wrong, but that's our defense mechanism. That is our defense mechanism. You are not going to take an act that we thought was cool and you're going to be like, well, it was just pity pussy. What? We don't know how to take that. We don't know how to accept that. So we're not going to let you just do that to us. So, ladies, if you... I wish, once again, we need the phone lines open. I want to know, why do women or some women feel the need to give the pity pussy? Like, what do you think you're going to accomplish? What do you think you're going to accomplish by doing that and then throwing it in our face? Like, you think that's going to make us, I don't know, respect you more? You think that's going to make us want to go, I don't know, buy you something and take you to brunch with our mothers? Like, what is going to come of you throwing in our face that you only gave us some for pity? Like, what are you trying to accomplish? Like, do you think that hurt our feelings?
Yeah, it usually doesn't work out too good.
It doesn't work at all, because if you only gave us some out of pity, we still got a nut. I hate to see that. I hate to say it like that, but I mean,
keep it a buck.
It just, that's, and it's been a while since I've heard that term, you know, pity pussy, or I just gave you something just because. I haven't heard that in a while. But for the women who think that bothers men, it don't bother men. It really don't. I mean, it may bruise their egos a little bit. If they thought they did something, it may bruise it a little bit. But if normally, ladies, when you're dealing with a man whose mentality is fragile enough to be bothered by that, all he wanted was a nut anyway.
That's it.
I think sometimes ladies need to understand the mentality of the men that they deal with. I know it's hard. I know some of us, you know, play a good game and we fool women to do that. I know we run that game. I get it. I really do get it. But for some women, they settle so easily for superficial things, and then they wonder. They have these moments where they post memes or they post This why I can't find a good man. Good man can't do this. Like, I don't know. You're advertising one thing and you're looking for another thing. It doesn't add up, ladies. The reason why Kate out is laughing is because I hate to tell y'all this. We have conversations every day about some of the posts that we see on social media, and we say to ourselves, why would you post that when we know you're looking for this? Why would you post that when we know you represent this? Some women represent one thing and they claim to one another, and it doesn't add up. It just doesn't. So this whole, I'm going to give you some pity, you shouldn't do that anymore because he don't care about you. I'm speaking to specific people now. He doesn't care about you. He just doesn't. I'm sorry. He's never going to care about you. He's literally never going to care about you. Oh, God. I really need some of y'all to understand that.
I shouldn't even say shots fired. I should just say bazooka fired.
I mean, listen, you know what it is. I don't understand some women's thought process sometimes. And maybe that's my downfall. I don't know. I'm good. I got mine. I'm good. But you got to understand that when you do certain things and you use your sex as the weapon, that's not a weapon against us unless you're holding it. And when you're holding it, guess what? There's about 16 trillion other women that will give us some. I got to make sure y'all understand that it's two sides of this coin. Either you're going to find the man you're looking for, or you're going to keep playing with these little boys thinking you're doing something, and these little boys are going to be winning because they're still going to be doing what they want to do, and you think you're doing something, but you're really not. You holding out your yawning for a young man, he can find that with someone else.
Right.
He can find that someone else. You using the church as a means of, that should be the barometer of how I find my man. That's not going to work either. I'm sorry. It's not going to work. Things are so different in this world nowadays. I do not understand why some women can't see that. And there's something, listen, I'm not saying that like all dudes are smart. Some of us are still dumb. A lot of us actually are still dumb. Men are dumb. We do dumb things.
Of course.
But we can acknowledge how dumb we are. There are some women who can never acknowledge how dumb they're being. And I see some of their stuff, and I used to talk to them. I used to say, listen, that's not going to ever work. But they don't listen to me. They think I'm being a jackass. I'm like, I'm just trying to let you know, we see your shit and we're laughing. That shit is funny to us. To a real man, it's funny. Like to a corny dude, he's going to try to find that angle. But for real dudes, we're going to see that shit, we're going to laugh. We're going to laugh. So the whole pity pussy thing, that don't bother us as a whole, men as a whole. It don't make us feel bad. It don't make us feel like we're not worthy because you still gave us some. You know, you still gave it up. I mean,
ladies and gentlemen, this is the Barstool podcast.
I'm sitting on. You know what I'm saying?
The Barstool podcast.
The camera's in my kitchen.
There you have it. Before we get out of here, man, Dluvhall, tell them what it. I don't know when the new album's coming out. I know you did an album before. Yeah, man, tell people where they can find you on social media if you want to put the information out there. My brother.
I mean, this is exclusive. So since you're gonna call me out, I am working on some new material. To hell with you and your horse you rode in on. But that won't be out till later. 2018, I'm planning on doing a couple of things. I got some things in the works. In the meantime, I'm on my clown shit on Instagram and on Twitter. It's Dluvhall, Dluvhall. I mean, I'm all over the place. Don't follow my Facebook because I get political and I get real on there. Y'all don't want to do that. Follow the clown shit. Real life stuff. I get real live on Facebook. That's not for the clown. The other stuff, the work, the art I'm working on. I do got some stuff I'm working on, man. And thanks for letting everybody know my work is out there.
Hey, man, one day you're gonna be Grammy nominated, man. I'm gonna be like, I remember that dude.
She remember that dude. So you ain't gonna be there.
I'm gonna be like, that's my boy.
Wow. So I'm gonna be a bitch. Is what I'm saying. I'm just be a bitch to leave all my boys behind. Shut up, man. Shut your ass.
Oh man. And you know where to find me. I mean, you guys found this podcast, so there's no need for me to give the information out. Yeah, make sure that you come back and you keep checking out the podcast. Obviously, this is the male side, so depending on when it's released, there will be a woman side on the things that women won't tell you about sex that you need to know. So if you haven't heard that podcast yet, make sure that you search and find that one as well. It's on here. You know how to find it. So for my man, Dluvhall, I'm your boy, 12 Kyle. Once again, thanks for checking out the latest edition of the 12 Kyle podcast. We'll catch you guys next time. 5,000.
Peace.
Chill.